Hello and welcome to Chapter 3. In this chapter, we're going to learn about working with SOLIDWORKS features, and we're going to do that through working with a couple of particular SOLIDWORKS models. Let's start by opening up a file from your Working Files folder for Infinite Skills called the linkage. You can see by looking at the feature manager in the linkage part that it has several features associated with it. And what we're going to do is we're going to close down the feature manager. I'm going to grab this tab and push it in. And we're going to just look at the geometry and see what kind of features we might use in order to create this part. One of the most difficult things in learning SOLIDWORKS is figuring out where to start. And that's the main thing that we'll be tackling in the course of this particular lesson. So, as we rotate the part around and just start becoming familiar with its features, the first thing I notice when I look at this is that there's a big cylindrical feature right at the origin. When designing SOLIDWORKS parts, you generally put the most important feature in the part on the origin. So this part could have been started by extruding a cylinder and then making a circular cut in the cylinder. So if we already have the cylindrical face and we're looking at what's next, generally you might see that this yoke shape feature would be next. That could be created all in one, or it could be created as a mirrored feature because it is symmetrical. Because this bar is rectangular, it could be extruded from one of a number of directions. You could extrude it from this direction, could extrude it from this direction if you were just extruding this section. It could also be extruded from this direction if you had sketched, say, the square centered on the origin and extruded in this direction. The yoke section could be created in a couple of different ways, but because it has symmetrical features, I would assume that it uses some sort of mirror feature. And these small bosses are probably extruded in a different direction from the rest of the feature. There are insets on both sides, and one side has some text in it. Extruded text is easy to create in SOLIDWORKS, but it does add a lot to the overhead of the model, meaning that your part will rebuild much more slowly once you've added extruded sketch text. Fillets are generally the last thing added to your SOLIDWORKS models. And we can see that there are fillets of various sizes in here. There are different ways of creating fillets and different goals of creating the fillet. There are some fillets you can see that have propagated all the way around the part. And this fillet looks like it was propagated all the way down here and tapers to an end at this end. So the order of the fillets that were created was probably a fillet like this first, a fillet like that as well, and then this fillet, and probably the last fillet was this one that goes around the end. Generally speaking, your large fillets should be first, but that's not always the case. Some fillets, such as this one, really don't matter as long as all of the solid geometry is there first. It doesn't matter because it doesn't touch any other fillet. So, having gone through and guessed at all of this, let's see how it was actually made. Let's pull the tab back out for the feature manager and slide this over. Now I'll grab the rollback bar at the bottom of the tree. You just put your cursor over it, it'll turn into a hand, and drag that back to just under the first feature. Using the rollback bar enables you to see the order in which features were created. The first feature was indeed the circular boss extrude, but this could have been made in a couple of other ways. It could have also been a long rectangle that was revolved around the origin, or it could have been a couple of circles extruded all at once. Notice that there was a hole created without a cut. So that's kind of a giveaway here. And if we edit this sketch to see what's going on, we see that it's what we call a nested loop with one circle inside another, so that when it's extruded, only the material between the circles is adding material. We edit the definition of the feature, and we can see that it was extruded using a midplane. This is an automatic way of setting up symmetry in a feature. The total distance is divided by 2, and it's extruded 1.5 inches in each direction. So the first feature was a little different from how I had guessed, but it was still in the ballpark. Let's roll down one feature to expose the extrude thin. We've seen thin feature extrudes before. This makes a slightly different use of this type of geometry. Now remember I said that the yoke was a symmetrical shape, so it could have been extruded and then mirrored. Well, let's take a look at the sketch to see how that was made. This is just an open sketch, meaning that it does not enclose an area. It's just a straight line, an arc, and another straight line. When this sketch is extruded, SOLIDWORKS adds thickness to the line to make it into a solid. You can flip that thickness to the inside or to the outside, and you can have the material set up as midplane or go different amounts in 2 different directions. In this case, the one direction was what was used. But also, notice that the midplane was used in the other direction. If it had been blind, all that material would have been to the top, but because it was midplane, the material was divided between the top and the bottom. Here's another trick that was used on this part. The sketch was stopped at the inside of the cylinder. If the sketch had continued on to the origin, SOLIDWORKS would have created part of this bar inside the hole. Let me show you how that was done. In order to do this, I'm going to use the keyboard shortcut Control-8 for Normal 2, and then I'll change the display style to wireframe. I'll get out of the definition and add a new sketch. To get the sketch so that it only comes up to the inside face of the cylinder, you could start by sketching your line from that point. This is what's called a silhouette edge, because there's not a real edge there unless you look at it in silhouette. By starting the sketch right on that line, SOLIDWORKS automatically creates a coincident sketch relation. I can move this point, but only along that silhouette edge. So that's how the second sketch and the second feature were created. Let's move on to the first cut extrude and go back to our shaded with edges display. This feature, if we select on it, it's highlighted on the screen, is the inset or indentation for the text that we will add to the part later on. The sketch for this is just a rectangle, but it had to use some special techniques to center it up. So I'm going to just roll this feature back and then recreate it right here for you so you can see how this was done. First, I click on this sketch and open a new sketch. Again, be aware of the difference between edit sketch and just sketch. Okay, now what I want to do, or the design intent for this feature, is that I want it to be centered on this bar. Well, I don't really have a way to create a centered rectangle if I don't know where the center is. So let's figure out where the center is first, and then we'll create a centered rectangle. One great way to figure out where the midpoint of a shape is to use some construction geometry. So in this case, I'm going to take the construction line over the edge, find the midpoint of the edge, and then draw a line across to the midpoint of the other side. And now I'm free to use a center rectangle from the midpoint of that line and draw that out. Now I can dimension this in a couple of different ways. I can either dimension the rectangle directly, or I can dimension it with respect to the existing geometry. And then from here, I can make a cut. And that would look exactly like the other feature. Now that you see how that was done, I'm just going to exit out with the red X, which discards all of my changes, so the original feature still stands.